If I would tell you that for a fee of about £15 a month you could subscribe to a service that would allow you to play high-end AAA PC games virtually lag-free at top graphical settings on your old PC, your old laptop, or even tablets and phones, you'd probably be a bit skeptical. If I were to add that you could play any game you had bought from Steam, the Epic Store, Battle.net, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Good Old Games, etc., or anywhere that sold games on the internet, again, you'd be a bit incredulous. Perhaps if I added that you could use an Xbox controller with this service and or a USB mic, you'd probably think, well, fair enough. Actually, that sounds pretty reasonable. How about then, though, if I said that not only could you play AAA PC games at high graphical settings, you could record and edit that gameplay into videos for YouTube? Now your skepticism would start to return. And then, to top it all off, if I said that you could play the games at high graphical settings and also stream to YouTube or Twitch without any additional hardware, with no noticeable lag on your gameplay, you'd finally snap and say, well, this is impossible. But you'd be wrong most of the time. What Shadow deliver with their cloud-based gaming PCs seems to be impossible. Virtually lag-free AAA gaming, recording and streaming at an affordable price that uses your old hardware, which means you don't need to upgrade to the latest, hottest gaming rig or the next PlayStation or Xbox. Most of the time. I say most of the time because, of course, Shadow relies on having good, consistent internet, and if your internet isn't consistently good, that's where the service fails. In my house, for example, I've got an average broadband with 50 megabits per second up and 20 megabits per second down most of the time. And this allows my Shadow to easily deliver 1080p 60 frames per second gaming at amazing quality via my old PC through a HDMI lead to my old telly. The catch is that if someone else starts downloading big files or streaming video from the likes of Netflix, my Shadow stops working and is unusable because of the lag introduced. The acid test for your situation, as well as going to Shadow's website and doing their speed test, is to whether you or any of your family or housemates regularly shout out, "I'm lagging," or "I can't get on the internet," because these are exactly the times when you'll struggle with a Shadow Cloud PC too. If you never have this situation, or you're willing to stop gaming when this happens, then I've got to say that a Shadow Boost could well be a viable alternative to upgrading your PC or buying a next-gen console. In my case, I've been blown away by the performance of my Shadow Boost, the amazing graphical quality, the seeming lack of lag on multiplayer shooters, the fact that it can record and stream at very high quality, and its overall versatility. Because what you're getting with Shadow is your very own Windows 10 PC in the cloud, with an NVIDIA GTX 1080 graphics card, Intel Xeon E5 2.5 GHz processor, 12 GB of RAM, and a 256 GB SSD hard drive. In my case, I've added another 256 GB of drive space, and that cost me an extra £3 a month, so my monthly bill, I think it's about £18. You may well be thinking that this is a lot more than GeForce Now, a comparable game streaming service, which has a free option and also has a £5 monthly fee. And you'd be right, but as I'll discuss in this video, I think the advantage Shadow gives, I think they're worth it. I also think that if you're considering trying out cloud-based gaming, you should start with GeForce Now to see if your internet and network can give you acceptable performance and you actually enjoy PC gaming, because it's quite different to console gaming. But although GeForce Now is an amazing service, you are limited by the games that are allowed on it, and it doesn't give you your own PC. Owning and using a Shadow Boost PC has made me severely question whether I'll be investing in a next-gen PlayStation or Xbox, especially as I don't have a 4K TV to take advantage of the extra horsepower. And I think that 1080p at a true 60 frames a second at high graphics settings, which Shadow easily delivers, looks amazing. At the very least, I'm now not bothered that I can't get hold of a PlayStation 5 or a Series X until well into 2021, because I know that the Shadow delivers the performance and extra versatility that I need until then. I've also been testing out lots of games to make sure that beyond just looking good, these games actually play well too. AAA single-player campaigns probably are where Shadow gaming PCs shine the best, and I had a really good time playing an old COD Black Ops 1 level at high settings, the amazing first chapter in Battlefield 1, and I put my Shadow to what I thought would be a tricky test with Jedi Fallen Order. Fallen Order is a third-person hack-and-slash game with loads of platforming, and third-person platforming needs good timing, which I thought might be tricky with the lag of a streaming service, but I'm glad to say my Shadow gave me a flawless experience. I never felt I missed a jump because of lag. I also always thought that multiplayer shooters would be where the Shadow struggled because, of that added lag, but after spending time with Call of Duty, Warzone and Battlefield, I was impressed. You could argue that the proof was in the PUBG, and after a couple of games of that, I actually managed to get a chicken dinner in first-person solos, and that was a turning point in my view of the capabilities of Shadow PCs when it comes to competitive online shooters. There are, of course, some caveats and minuses to Shadow PCs, and you've really got to be aware of them before you dive in. I've already mentioned that you need consistently good internet, or the Shadow just doesn't work. The Shadow subscription doesn't come with any games. You've got to buy them yourself from the likes of Steam, Epic, Good Old Games, etc. And although, again, I've said that it's not noticeable on a good connection, there has to be a certain amount of lag introduced with Shadow PC gaming. And this should make you uncompetitive in multiplayer shooters or anything where you need twitch muscle skills like high-speed driving games. But what I will say is that this appears to be a much smaller issue than I thought it would be. I've killed a few players and won a chicken dinner in PUBG. I've run around in Call of Duty and had fun in multiplayer. I actually think that the bigger issue is that PC games are optimised for keyboard and mouse. And if you want to get the most out of PUBG, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rainbow Six Siege, Apex, etc. on PC, it's more important to put the time into learning keyboard and mouse and putting that controller to one side than worrying about the extra lag that the Shadow introduces. I also think that the base 256GB of drive space the Shadow comes with is too small, and you will have to pay the extra, to get at least 512GB, and that does add a few quid onto your monthly bill. But remember, there's no contract and you can cancel at any time. My last caveat about Shadow, and this is probably the most disappointing one, is the wait time. At the moment, there's a 6-month queue for you to get one. I had to wait 3 months to get mine, and you need a lot of patience for that. To sum all this up then, when my internet connection is at its best, the performance and versatility of my Shadow Boost cloud gaming PC has blown me away, and I wouldn't be without it. My Shadow Boost makes me question the need to ever buy a high-end PC or console, and I heartily recommend the service to anyone who wants a cheap way into not only high-end PC gaming, but also the ability to record and make YouTube videos about it, and also to stream to Twitch without any additional hardware. Oh, and my final word, well, I recorded all of the gameplay and all of the audio on my Shadow Boost for this video, and I've edited it all together and uploaded it to YouTube from my Shadow Boost as well. It shows you how versatile this system is. The impossible is possible. Okay, that's enough from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed that review and found it useful. If you have, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of the same, and I'll see you again soon.